Hi guys, it's Carol from Cape Cod Cottage Garden. It's a beautiful day here on Cape Cod. It's November 4th, gorgeous fall day, 61 degrees. But it has been consistently raining every weekend, probably since like the end of August, which is really made it hard for me to get out in my garden and do some maintenance and cleanup. You know, I work, so I have the weekends really to do all this stuff, and if it's raining every weekend, it makes it really difficult. But today what I'm going to do, since we have this, we're gifted with this gorgeous day, is I'm going to dig up my dahlia tubers and show you how to store them. I've never done this before, but we'll see how I do. And also, I was watching Budget Gardener with Vita Loca. She's local here. She's in New Hampshire, so not super local, but still in New England. So I love her channel, and she stores her tuberous begonias and plants them the next year. So I'm going to do that. Why not? Why buy these plants that can be quite costly if you can overwinter them? I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I am now addicted to dahlias. This is the first year I grew them. I just bought these at the bin in Home Depot, and they were gorgeous. I have 3 varieties. I have Milena, Hawaii, and I always call it Frank Kafka, but I believe it's Franz Kafka, but I call it Frank Kafka. I don't know why, but it's Franz Kafka. So what I did so far was I just went through and I put some of this flag tape around the base of each plant so I know which tuber is which. And now I'm going to go ahead and dig them up, wash them off, and try to divide them. If I pull them up and I see that I can't see clear eyes or something like that, I might just store the whole clump and then try to divide them in the spring. I was told that it's easier to cut into them now because they're still not as like hard. They're more like a potato consistency. And if you wait till the spring, they can become like really hard to get through, like leathery. So I'd prefer to do it now. But if I can't see clear, I've never done this before. So if I can't see clear eyes, I'm gonna wait till the spring. So I won't know that till I dig it up. So let me go ahead and start doing that. Okay, you can see here where I put the flags. I just marked them. This one's Milena, this one's Hawaii. Did I mention that one? This one's Hawaii, Milena, and Franz Kafka. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna cut all the stalks off just to make it easier to manage. I have so many straw flowers in here, guys. But the straw flowers are still blooming. I mean, we did have frost, but some of my stuff still looks good. I'm not cutting it down so it looks bad. The one thing I did learn about dahlias is they're huge. Well, at least the varieties I have are very tall. I know you can't see me, but I wanted you to see this. I didn't stake them, so they all fell over. But this whole bed all fell over. Even my straw flowers, I had the giant ones. I didn't realize they were giant ones. Some of them in my other bed are like 7 feet tall. But so first I'm gonna cut off these stalks. I'm just using the Falcos. This one right here is the Franz Kafka. I gotta say, it was gorgeous. There's so many little stalks here. And I planted these really close together, so I'm not entirely sure which plant is which. With that frost, the near frost we had did kill the dahlias. They're pretty sensitive to that. So I can't look at the actual flowers. I'm just trying to do it by memory, and I'm looking at some of the dried stuff. So, okay. So the first thing you're gonna do is cut off the big stalks. Look at this one, giant. This was Milena. And look at it. I'll just show you guys for example. It's hollow on the inside. Isn't that cool? You can see all the way through it. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and finish cutting back all the stalks, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when we're done and we start. Okay, so I went ahead and cleared out some of the debris, and then I took my pitchfork like this. I just did the first one. I very gently placed the fork far away from the stems so I don't damage the tuber, and I just gently lifted it out of the soil. And I just did that off camera, but here is Milena. Now Milena is like a dinner plate. I'll try to pop some pictures up, but look at, I didn't knock off any of the dirt yet, but this was one. I think the tuber had a couple of tubers on it. It wasn't like seriously just one, but look at, they all look really good. This one is broken. Shoot, I don't know if I did that with the fork or whatever, but you're bound to lose a couple, but look at, there's tons in there. So from one plant, hopefully I will get a whole bunch more next year. So I'm just gonna set this aside for now gently, and then I'm gonna go dig up the rest. So let me try to dig up Hawaii next. I'll try to pop some pictures about what these look like. When I looked up what Hawaii looked like on the internet, it didn't look like anything like the flower I got. So I don't know if it was marked wrong, but it was like yellow. And I'm not really a big yellow fan, but it was gorgeous. So I'm probably like 6 or 7 inches away from the stems. Put my fork in and I'm just gonna gently lift. Ooh, what am I hitting? Of course, the other one that I did off camera came up really nicely, and this one probably won't. It would help if I didn't have a broken pitchfork, which I do. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna cut into it. Oh yeah, I can see some tubers already. Let me go from the other side. Come over here. I just don't want to damage too many. Oh my gosh, why won't this come up? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I put this mesh from my fence that goes down and under this bed a little bit, because originally when I planted this fence, I wasn't gonna have this box here, and I didn't want bunnies to dig under, so I'm hitting the fence. That's what I'm doing. Okay, let me try to go this way. I won't go as deep. There we go. Okay, I got it now. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh yeah. Oh, see, a couple of them did break. Darn it, I'm not very good at this, but it's my first time. A couple of them did break off, so those will be gone, but still, there's a lot. Now this one was a smaller dahlia. Oh, I'm not even showing you in the camera. This one was a smaller dahlia, and it bloomed very, very late. Like literally, like a couple of weeks ago was when I saw the blooms. But you can see there's lots of healthy tubers in there. Okay, that's it. And then the last one is my Frank Kafka. I did it again. Franz Kafka. There's like a pom-pom type dahlia. This one's not very good because it's old, but they're a little bigger, gorgeous, and prolific. Let me try to dig that one out, and then I'll show you the rest. It's hard not to damage them when you're digging them up, to be honest. That one came up good. Okay, let's see. This soil was brand new last year, and it was really nice and workable and soft. It was great. Let's see what we got. Oh goodness. Oops. Gently. Can't even see what I'm doing. Let me see. I'm gonna have to get the hose on this to try to get some of this dirt off so I can see what I have here. But there's definitely lots of roots and tubers. Okay, you can see they're really closer to the surface than I thought they would be. Can you see them? Okay, so let me get the hose out and see if I can get some of the dirt off these. Okay, I know you can't see my head, but I want you to see what I'm doing here. The first thing I learned is that they're a lot more fragile than I thought. Like I was with my finger trying to gently break the dirt off of it, and I broke off a tuber. So I went ahead and got my hose, and I'm gonna spray them. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's much better. Don't use your hands, use the hose. Ooh, this looks like a nice scent. Now we can see what we have. I think we'll be able to get some off of these. Oh, I can actually see eyes. Let me see if I can show you that. So the mama tuber broke off, and I threw it over here. Somebody wanted to show it to you, but I threw it in my pile. But I can show you the other ones that were original. They're a little darker right there. Can you see? Right there and right there. So this was a clump of like 3 or so. There's probably another one right there. But all the other ones are new. Some of these are small, but as long as they have an eye, I wish I could show you. Let's see. Right here. So as long as they have a body, a neck, which is the skinnier part, and eyes, they will grow. Can you see the eyes? Let me see if I can show you what the eyes look like, because I can see them clearly on this one. I don't know, I can't see well, but right there, there's 2 eyes, maybe even 3. So I would cut this off to include the eyes, the neck, and the body, and that will be viable. They're nice and firm. They're not mushy. This one's broken. That one's gone to waste. I must have hit it with the fork or something. So that one's done, all done. But let me go ahead and clean up the rest of these and then we'll get to dividing. Okay. Hi, I'm back. Now I start the daunting task of dividing. I'm going to start with Hawaii because that one was my least favorite. So if I totally muck it up, it is what it is. So let me show you. There's so many here. I don't know. As long as I get a few, I'll be happy. But I'm going to show you. I don't know. I hope it will focus. But sorry, my husband's blowing leaves. He's always doing something when I'm doing something. So I don't know if you can see right there. Please focus. There's a little eye. There's two eyes actually right there. Those are the eyes. This is the neck. This is the body. I'm going to go after that one first because it's pretty clear. So let me try that. Remember, this is my first time doing this, so I'm really nervous. Actually, maybe I should cut the clump in half first, but I don't know how I'm going to do that without damaging all these tubers. So let me see if I can just get in there and clip away. Oh, I did it. That was easy. And I think I do have eyes. This one has like a double tuber. I think I can just clip this off. I'm gonna clip it off. That's just it. So, you have the body. You have the neck. You have the eyes. See those little dots? Actually, there's multiple eyes on this. There are some diseases you want to look out for. I think it's called gall, and it would be like a tuberous bulby thing. It looks like a bunch of eyes on the neck is not gall. It looks very different. If I can find a picture of it, I'll pop it up. But I'm pretty sure this is just a nice healthy tuber with eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the rest of Hawaii. You don't need to watch me do the whole thing. I'm gonna mark each one and then I'll show you how I'm gonna store them. Okay guys, I wanted to show you this. You can see these are the mamas. See how they're darker skinned? Older looking. Those are the ones I planted and I have all of this. This is Hawaii. I've already taken a couple off of this. You can take all these little roots off too. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep going, but I wanted you guys to see what the mama looked like. You don't wanna save that. It's done its job. It grew all these babies. Time to let it go. Okay guys, so Hawaii is done. I got 11 potential plants out of that one Hawaii plant. So some of them I have individual tubers. They came off. I could find the eyes. It was pretty easy. But then some of them were so convoluted and so close together and I couldn't really discern the eyes. So I just cut them off in a clump. And hopefully as long as there's one eye in this bunch, it will grow. So I have 3 clumps like this one. And then the big one. I couldn't, see how they're all mushed together so tightly that I just couldn't find a way to break them apart. So I'll just plant the whole clump. So I have 3 clumps and then all these individual ones, so 11 potential plants in all. Pretty pleased so far. I do have 2 clumps of Melina, and I will start with this one. So the first thing I do is I just go through and I cut off all the roots because it just makes it harder to see. This is my method. Of course, I'm just learning, so cut off all the roots. Just so you can see what you're doing. Like that's not viable. That's not viable. Get rid of it. After I cut off all the roots, as best you can, so just so you have a clearer picture of what you're looking at. And be sure to turn it around and upside down because sometimes the eyes will be on the bottom. You know, so it's sometimes hard to see. And if you look for any like this, I'll show you. This tuber right here has like a hole in it. I don't know if you can see that. See the hole? I'm just gonna get rid of that one because there's probably some insect in there or something, but I'm gonna get rid of it. If you have a little damage on one of them, it will scab over, so you can save that, but the ones with the holes, like, oh, here's another one. I don't know if you can see it. See the hole? I'm getting rid of that one too. So I'll cut out all the ones that don't look good. I'll cut off the stems just to give me a clearer picture to see if I can weasel in here and get some tubers separated. There's the mama tubers, the dark ones. Look how small they are compared to all the ones that grew. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay guys, I'm on my last clump. This is Franz Cacfa. how, tell me how I'm gonna do this one. You can see the mothers in there. How am I gonna do this? I really love this one. I do wanna divide it at least a little bit. I think what I might do with this one is just get a knife and just chop it right down the middle. See if I can find eyes. I don't know. They're so tightly clumped in together. All you Dahlia experts out there, what would you do with this? I took off most of the roots. I took off the stems, and now I'm stuck. The other thing is you don't want to let these dry out in the sun for like 2 hours. So I took all of my Dahlias that I already separated and I put them in the shade and out of the sun because I don't want them to dry up. So let me tackle this. I think I'm just going to chop it in half and see what I have. At least I'll get 2. Okay guys, I got the Dahlias separated. I did a great job with Hawaii. I saw the eyes. The first one I did, I was like, wow, I can actually do this. Then I got to Millennia. Whole different ball game. Couldn't see eyes. I kept a lot of them in big clumps. And I'll just wait till the spring when they start to sprout. I'll know for sure there's eyes and maybe I can separate them then if I want to. Or I can just plant the whole clump. Same thing with Fran's Cacfa. Very difficult to see the eyes. They were so tightly packed together. You know, I cut it in half and tried to see in between. I really couldn't. So I'm going to just be happy with what I accomplished today and store them. And if we do good with the storage, hopefully we'll have some in the spring. So you want to store them in something that's not airtight. So you can use like a Rubbermaid tub, but if you use like a Rubbermaid tub, make sure you don't put the cover on and you poke some holes all around it. I'm going to use this cardboard box. I'm going to put some peat moss, put my tubers in, cover them with peat moss, and then you want to keep them somewhere that it's going to remain between 40 and 50 degrees. So that's a challenge, right? I mean, I could put them in my basement here on my Cape house, but you know, my basement's finished. So I think it's probably going to get much more warm than 40 degrees down there. So I think I'm going to start by leaving them in my garage. The only fear about leaving them in the garage is that they, you know, you don't want them to freeze. You definitely don't want them to freeze. If they freeze, they turn to mush. So I'm going to put in my garage, I'm going to put a glass of water or a cup of water beside the box. If I notice that the water is starting to freeze at all, I'll move them in the basement. I think my garage on the Cape will be less likely to freeze than my garage at home because it does get a lot colder at home than it does here on the Cape. I think I'm a zone 6 at home and I'm a zone 7A here. So it just does stay a little warmer. We're on the ocean, we get the ocean warmth. So it doesn't get as cold. So first I'm just going to put some peat moss. I'll show you how I label them all and I'm just going to pack them in here. Let me move the camera so you can see better. And you want your peat moss not to be wet for sure. You don't want moisture. You don't want them to rot. But you don't want it to be fly away dry either. So if it's fly away dry, then you might want to just mist it just a little bit, stir it up and then use it. I'm using peat moss. You can use a vermiculite. Some people don't use, just put them in like blankets and stuff like that. But this is the way I'm going to try it. We'll see in the spring if it works. So maybe turn the camera so you can see it. Okay, so I'm just going to dump some peat moss. This looks like a little bit flyaway, but it's actually kind of, it was stored outside, so it's kind of moist. Right now, I'm not going to moisten it because I did wet the tubers. I did wet the tubers when I was trying to clean the dirt off, so they're a little bit damp. I mean, they're not damp, but. So I'll just put like a little bit in the bottom like that. Break it up. And let's put the Fran's Cacfa in for us so you can see how I mark them. I put little labels on them. And then on some of them, I wasn't 100% sure if I had an eye, so I just wrote question eye. So I'll see in the spring if they're starting to sprout, then I know there's an eye. So just lay them in. You can see I had to keep this one in a big clump. So how many did I get? I didn't count. Clumps. I got 1, 2, 3 clumps, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So not nearly as much as you can see I had on Hawaii. So now I'm just going to layer some more in here. It's okay if they touch each other. You're going to want to check these once a month. And if you notice anything rotten or anything like that, just pull it and get rid of it. Because you don't want the rot to spread to all of them. Okay, let me go get the other ones. This is Hawaii. This was the best one. I got tons off of this one. Of course, it was my least favorite one, but that's okay. It was still really pretty. Gorgeous. I'm just not a fan of yellow. And it's weird because when I looked up the variety Hawaii, it was like mostly pink and white, but mine were yellow. So either it was mismarked or something. I don't know. Okay, Hawaii. Now I'm going to put a few more, a little bit more. Eat. Guys, if you hear me moaning, I fell over a week ago. And I think I, at the very least, bruised a rib or broke it. I don't know. It's been the most torturous week because it hurts like crazy. So sorry if I'm not moaning and whiny. And this is Millennia. You can see I kept it pretty big. I could not see the eyes. I mean, I got a few that were separated. Oh, that one has a hole in it. I'm going to chop that off. I missed it. Let me get rid of that one. The only thing is, I want to make sure these are covered. Get in there without breaking them. They're pretty fragile. They're much more fragile than I thought they were. Okay. Mr. Hubby just came around and cleaned all the leaves and the stuff off the patio, and here I am dumping roots and dirt and mulch and peat moss everywhere. Oh, sorry about that. So there we go. Good night until the spring. I will be checking once a month on these though. So one last thing, my hair is crazy. Before I sign off, here's my tuberous begonia. I want to try to save it. I loved it. It was gorgeous. So I'm going to try to dig it up. This is going to be gone in a couple of days. I should just get rid of it now. But I'm going to try to dig it up. And what you do for those is you just try to take off as much dirt as you can. Let it dry a little bit, and then you can get all the dirt off, and then you just store it just like you did those. And overwinter it. We'll see how it goes. Let me see if I can dig it out. Actually, I'll dig it out and I'll come back on. So guys, I dug it up, and I'm a little disappointed. It feels like a little mushy. I think this might be a goner. It's firm up here, but then it's mushy down here. So I don't know if I'm going to try. I'll dry it out, see if it firms up. But I think this is a goner. But it was worth a try, right? So I just wanted to address a couple of things that's going on at my channel. First of all, I really, really appreciate the support. I've gotten so much support lately. It's so great because these videos, they do take a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I know I'm not an expert, but I feel like there's value there. I mean, everything I learned this year, I can't even tell you so much. It was a great gardening season. As you know, it was my first year with the big vegetable garden. A lot of new perennials I put in, I don't know, hundreds. You know, I did have some problems with critters. Me and Mr. Hubby are talking about maybe fencing in the whole yard. I don't know. We have to see. We have to do something about the critters because it's just so much time and effort to do all this work, and just to have it eaten was really discouraging this year. But fingers crossed they come back next year. But all in all, I'm super pleased with the gardening season. It's not 100% over yet. I still have Brussels sprouts. I still have to clean up all my garden beds, plant my garlic. There's a few more things I need to do, so there will be some videos. And then over the winter, I'll do maybe some food, or maybe my kitchen remodel and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But again, like and subscribe if you can. I super appreciate the support, all the comments. I love to read the comments, so keep them coming. Thanks. Bye-bye. Just because I ended so awkwardly, I thought I'd show you this pot. It's November 4th. I have a geranium, I have fanflower, and I have a gorgeous, the alyssum still looks gorgeous. We've had a lot of rain. I haven't done anything to this pot, but hey, I'm going to keep it going. Enjoy the rest of your fall, guys. Till next time.